Hello everyone, my name is Akanksha. Today we are going to cover a very basic but fundamental topic in mathematics, that is addition and subtraction. I hope you all are familiar with this concept, this operation, and I'm assuming and I believe that this is the first operation we all study in our school which involves number or which involves two numbers. Okay. So we are going to refresh our memories. We are going to see this very basic operation on numbers and how we you can apply it and what kind of problems you can expect on this topic in your exam. So let's get started. So I will be first telling you what is the definition and how will you figure out given a question whether you have to add something or you have to subtract something. Okay. So definition. What is addition? The process of combining two or more numbers. So addition as well as subtraction, both are the operation involving numbers. So adding, or if you want to sum two numbers, if you want to get the total of two numbers, that operation is known as addition. And keywords for addition is sum, total, altogether, combined, increased by, more than, or added to. How you are going to use these keywords, that we will see while solving some problem. So for the time being, let me tell you what is addition. So as it is given in the definition, the process of combining two numbers. So if you want to apply this addition, this operation addition, so first thing you have to remember is you need to have two numbers. Okay. So let's get started. Let's say one number is 5, other number is 7. And we want to add them up or we want to calculate the total of these two numbers. Addition is represented by this symbol, this plus sign, and you have to add them. 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. So total of 5 and 7 is a new number, 12. Similarly, let's say you have a number 5 and other side you have a number 1. So addition means it becomes 6. So total of 5 plus 1 is 6. Now next, we are going to see some basic properties of addition. The first property is, let's say if A and B are two numbers, then while you add A plus B or B plus A, you will get the same result. For example, let's see one example. The same example I'm going to take, which I have taken in the previous slide. Let's say A is equal to 7 and B is equal to 5. Okay. Now A plus B means 7 plus 5 and that is equal to 12, right? Now other side operation is B plus A. Now you compute B plus A. B is 5, A is 7 and that is equal to 7. You can see that whether you do A plus B or B plus A, both will give you the same answer and this property is known as commutativity. You don't need to remember this name, but yeah, this is a famous property which generally addition operation holds. And if you are going to study maths in higher education, this commutativity, associativity, people use it very frequently when they work on sets or abstract structures. But for you, you don't need to go into any abstraction. You just have to remember that addition is commutative. That means either you add two numbers like 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1. Both are the same thing. So order does not matter. Second property is if you have three numbers, let's say A, B, and C, you can add those numbers in any order. Either you add A plus B first and then you add C, or you add B plus C first and then you add A. Let's see one example. Example for associativity. Let me take A is equal to 5, B is equal to 2, C is equal to, let's say, 9. Is that fine? Now, you add A plus B plus C. What does it mean? Let me write it down exactly. So, A plus B is 5 plus 2 bracket plus C means 9, right? Let me erase it. Bracket means you have to do this operation first. Okay. So this bracket indicates that you have to add 5 plus 2 first. So it becomes 7 plus 9. And 7 plus 9 you have to add further. If you add them, you will get 16. Similarly, let's see what is mean by this. So a plus B plus C. But bracket is over here. Let me write it down. A is 5, B is 2, C is 9, right? Again, bracket means you have to add these two first. So 5 as it is plus 9 plus 2 is 11 and that is equal to 16. You can see that again, order does not matter whether it is just two numbers or three numbers. Either you add A plus B first and then C, or B plus C first then A. Both will give you the same answer. Now, identity property. Identity property is if you add 0 to any number, you will get the number as it is. For example, let's see one example. Let me take A is equal to 7. So now A plus 0 means 7 plus 0. You all are familiar with this 0 number, no? So 7 may, if you add 0, what will you get? You will get 7. So 0 is called identity. Okay. So this is the identity. Again, you don't need to remember these properties. You just have to remember the operation. First operation is whether you add 5 and 7 or 7 and 5. Both are the same thing. Order does not matter. Similarly, if you are given three numbers, you can start with adding any two numbers first and then you keep on adding other numbers. So, order does not matter which you are adding first. Okay. And 0 if you add to any number, you are going to get the number as it is. Next is subtraction operation. Again, we are going to see definition. The process of finding the difference between two numbers. That is called subtraction. So, you are given two numbers and you want to find out the difference. And it is also known as inverse operation of addition. So, let's see what does it mean. According to the definition, again, for subtraction, you need two numbers. Let's start with two numbers. Let me take 5 and 7. If somebody asks you what is the difference between 5 and 7, what will you do? What is the difference between 5 and 7? You can guess it is 2. How will you get this 2? So 7 minus 5 you do and that is equal to 2. So the difference between 7 and 5 is 2. And what is mean by inverse operation of addition? Here, 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. The same thing you can also write as 7 is equal to 2 plus 5. So, subtract is the inverse operation of addition or addition is the inverse operation of subtraction. So, you can see that, no? 5 plus 2 is 7. So, you can take this 5, this thing full on this side of the equation of the equality with plus sign. And similarly, if you want, you can take this to this side with minus sign. So 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. Both are the same thing. What does it mean? Let's say if A plus B is equal to C, this thing is same as A is equal to C minus B. You can take this thing to this side with minus sign. This is called as inverse operations. So plus and minus means addition and subtraction are inverse operations. Okay. Keywords for subtraction. Remember, keywords for addition was added to, combine, sum, total, and so on. For subtraction, keywords are difference, less than, decreased by. That one was increased by. If you want to increase a number by something, you have to add. If you want to decrease a number by 1 or 2, you have to subtract. So, same thing. Again, these keywords will be useful while you solve some examples, some language problems. So you will see that I have marked these keywords in bold letter so that you will see the difference. Or if you get confused whether you have to add or subtract, these keywords are important. If you can remember them, or understanding is also fine. You don't need to remember, but if you read the question, you should get the feeling whether you have to add or subtract. Again, this we will see later while solving problem. So again, decreased by, reduced by, remaining, left, how much is left, how much more or how much less. These are the keywords for the operation subtraction. Okay. Now properties. What is the properties of subtraction? You remember, you know that a plus b is equal to b plus a. But with subtraction, that is not true. As you can see, it is written a minus b is not equal to b minus a. Let's see how. What does it mean? Let me take a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 2. Is that fine? So now a minus b means 7 minus 2. That is equal to 5, right? Now what is b minus a? B is 2 and a is 7. First of all, you will see that you cannot subtract 2. You cannot subtract 7 from 2 because 7 is much more bigger than 2, right? But still, we can do it and we can write it as minus 7. But again, it goes into the abstraction. But whenever you do subtraction on very basic level, you always subtract smaller number from the bigger one. So that is why you can see that one side it is 5, one side it is minus 5. So they are not equal. So subtraction is not commutative. Commutative means whether you do A star B or B star A. If they are equal, then you call this property as commutativity. Okay? Again, you don't need to remember the name. Similarly, subtraction is not even associative. What does it mean? It means whether you are subtracting A, you are subtracting B from A first or the other way around. So order matters. So here, what does it mean? A minus B minus C is not equals to A minus B minus C. Let's see whether it is true. So you take A is equal to 7, B is equal to 2, and let me take C is equal to maybe 5. Okay. Now, or maybe I will take 4. Okay. Now, left hand side is A minus B minus C. I'm not sure. For some numbers, it is not true, but in general, it is true. So, A is 7 minus 2 and then minus 4. C is minus 4. Now, 7 minus 2 is 5. Minus 4 is 1. Now, let's change the order. A minus B minus C. As I told you while doing addition also, the operation inside the bracket you have to do first. That is equal to A is 7 minus B is 2 minus 4. Again, you can see that you have to do this operation first. And you can see that actually you cannot subtract 2 from 4, right? Because 4 is much more bigger than 2. But still, let's try to do that. So then, so you can see that this operation is not valid because we always calculate the difference from bigger number So difference should be you can subtract a smaller number from bigger number. So this operation is valid, but this operation was not valid. So you cannot subtract 4 from 2, right? So that is why A minus B minus C is not same as A minus B minus C, right? And next property is if you subtract 0 from A, you will get the same number. This property is similar to addition also. You know that if you add 0 to any number, you will get the same number. If you subtract any number, so third property, let's see one example. Let me take A is equal to 2 and let us subtract A minus 0. 0 is just 0 number. So 2 minus 0 is equal to 2 only. For second property, this one is first, means third property. For second property, let me take A minus A. A minus A, what does it mean? A is 2 minus 2. If you subtract, if you want to calculate the difference of 2 from 2, you will get 0. That is what this property is. So this property says if you subtract 0 from any number, you will get the same number. And if you subtract any number from itself, you will get 0. So difference of 2 and 2 is 0. Difference of any number from itself is 0. Okay. Now, how to apply these operation in word problems? First thing is, carefully you have to first read the problem. Read the problem carefully. You can take your time in reading the problem. That is most important thing. So if you get confused between addition and subtraction, everything will be gone. Okay. So read and try to understand the problem first. Then identify relevant information and then determine whether addition, subtraction, or both are needed. So, in one question itself, it may be the case that you have to add something first and then you have to subtract. So, these things you have to be very careful about. So, first thing, read the problem, try to understand the problem, identify relevant information. What all information you have to identify, that we will see while solving the problems. So, let's start with the problems. First problem, a law firm has 35 senior partners. Okay. There is a law firm where 35 senior partners, 48 junior partners, and 112 associates are there. So, a law firm has these senior partners, these many junior partners, and these many associates. If 15 associates leave the firm and 9 new junior partners join, what is the total number of lawyers in the firm? Okay, what is the total number of lawyers in the firm? So, first of all are lawyers. Okay, all are in a law firm, all people are lawyers. So, first thing you have to figure out initially what was the scenario. So, initially in the firm, how many lawyers were there? Initially, we had 35 senior, 48 junior, and 112. These many total lawyers were there, right? Now, add them up. So, how do you add if there are these big numbers 35, 48, and 112? So, you start from here. So, this line should be match. So, now 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. Remainder is 1. Then 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 1 8 plus 1 9 and 1. So initially we had 195 lawyers, right? In the firm. Now, what is the scenario? If 15 associates leave the firm, okay? So that means 195 minus 15 because 15 has left. So what this becomes? Now you have to subtract 195 minus 15. Here we have add them up. Here you have to subtract. So 5 minus 5 is 0. 9 minus 1 is 8. And here it is 8. So now after leaving 15 associates, you had these many lawyers in the firm, right? Now what is the scenario? And 9 new junior partners had joined. Somebody has joined also. So 180 plus 9. So 189. So this is your final answer. I hope from this problem it is clear to you that how to calculate the final answer. So in this one problem itself, we first add the strength in the law firm, then we subtracted those many associates which left the firm, and then we have added number of new joinees. So initially there were 35 plus 48 plus 112 lawyers. Then we have added them up. Total was 195. Then we see that if 15 associates leave, so 15 has left. So we have subtracted 15 and then 9 has joined. Then we have added 9. So it becomes 189 finally. Okay. So this is how you have to solve the problem. First, you have to read the problem carefully and then you start working on that. Next problem. In a survey of law students, okay, so there is survey of law students, 450 students preferred criminal law, okay, 450 students preferred criminal law, 320 preferred constitutional law, and 180 preferred corporate law, okay. If 75 students preferred both criminal and constitutional law, and every student preferred at least one of the three, what is the total number of students surveyed? So, here initially there were four. So, see, the total number of students surveyed, you have to figure out how many students we have surveyed. And now you have to see the scenario. So there are three subjects, like, right? Three laws. One is criminal law. So let me write it down. Criminal law. How many students are interested in criminal law? 450 students, right? Then second is constitutional law. How many students are interested in constitutional? 320 students. Third one is corporate law. How many students are interested in corporate? It is 180, right? Now, 75 students preferred criminal and constitutional both. So, criminal plus constitutional. How many are interested in both? 75. Here, it is given that every student preferred at least one of the three. What is the total number of students survey? So, here you see that, so there are three laws. This one is criminal. Let's say this one is A. This one is B. And this one is C law. Okay. So this one is A, B, and C. How many students are interested in A law? It is 450. How many interested in B? That means constitutional. It is 320. How many interested in corporate? It is 180. And then how many interested in criminal and constitutional? That is A and B. This part, it is 75. Now you have to count all. Okay. You have to count all, but only once. Okay. This you have to keep in mind. So you have to count everything, but only once. So 450 students for criminal law, 320 for constitutional law, and 180 for corporate law. But here, this 75 are interested in both. So this you have to subtract. Okay. And this will give you your final answer. Now you solve this problem. So first you add 450 with 320. What will you get? 0 and 0? 0. 5 plus 2, 7. 4 plus 3 is again 7. So this is 770 plus 320 minus 75. Now let me add these two. So 770 and 320 is equal to 0 plus. I'm adding them up, okay? Because plus ka sign hai. 7 plus 2 is 9. 7 plus 3 is 10. These many. So this is equal to 1090 minus 75. Why we are subtracting 75? Because you know that 75 are the one which are in both. But we cannot count them twice. We have already counted these 75 into these 450 and 320. So this part, these 75 has counted twice with these students also, these students also. But here you can see that every student preferred at least one of the three. So you have to subtract 75 because that is not allowed. You cannot count any student twice. So 1090 minus 75. So it is 0 minus 5 is 5. Right? Remainder you have to take 0. If you take remainder, this becomes 10. Here it is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1 and it is 1000. So it is 1015. Okay. Any of the this thing is not matching. So the answer is 1015. These options are correct, are wrong. Okay. So that is how you have to compute. Next problem, let's see. A book on legal reasoning has 250 pages. Okay, in a book on legal reasoning has 250 pages. If a student read 78 pages on Monday and 150 pages on Tuesday, how many pages are left to read? Okay, how many means how many left means subtract. So here you can see that in a book, total there were 250 pages. Is that fine? Now, a student is done with reading 78 pages on Monday and 115 pages on Tuesday. So, total pages read by the student. How many pages student is done with? Is 78, which he or she has read on Monday plus 115. How much is this? 115 and 78. 5 plus 8 is 13. Remainder is 1. Now 7 plus 1 plus 1 is 9. 193. So it is 193. So out of 250, student has already read 193 pages. So let me write pages left. Pages left to read is 250 minus 193. And that will equal to, let's see, 150, 193. Subtract. Here we have added them up. So again, you have to take remainder on this side. 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. It becomes 4 because you have taken one remainder on this side. 4 minus 9 is not possible. So you will take one remainder on this side. It becomes 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. And here you had 1. So 250. 1 minus 1 is 0. So 57. So option A is correct. So student is left with 57 pages. Okay. Next problem. A law library acquired, okay, there is a library, a law library acquired 150 new books in January, 120 in February, 180 in March. Okay. If 35 old books were discarded in April, what is the net increase in the number of books in the library over these 4 months? So, in 4 months, how many books has increased in the library? So, again, if problem is not clear, read it again. So, a law library acquired means in the library new books has came. 150 new book has came in January, 120 in February, 180 in March. But 35 books has discarded in April. So net increment in books in these 4 months will be add them up and subtract these 35 books. So books added in the library. How many books are added? 150 in January plus 120 in February and 180 in March. So how many total books has increased in 3 months? In 3 months, how many books has increased? Just a minute. You have to add them up. Let us do this addition. 150 plus 120 will do first. 0 plus 0, 0. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 270 in January, February, and 180. That is for March. Now add 270 and 180. 0 plus 0, 0. 7 plus 8 is how much it will be? 14. One remainder. Let me write it over here. 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 1, 4. So 440 books in 3 months. Right? But in April, what happened? 440 minus 35 they did. Okay. Because why did they did so? Because 35 old books were discarded. Right? So old book they have discarded. So you have to subtract that one. So 440 minus 35. So again 0. So difference it is not possible. You cannot subtract 5 from 0. So you have to take remainder. It becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. It becomes 3. It is 0 and is 4 as it is. So 404 books. So total increment. So net increase in the number of books in the library over these 4 months are 405. Okay. Okay, there is a problem here. 0 plus 0 is 0. So this becomes 7 plus 8 becomes 5. Okay, sorry. This is 5. So total books in this month is 450. Then 450 minus this 35 is 115. So total increment is 115 and option A is correct. Okay. That is how you have to use addition and subtraction to solve such problems. So next problem. In a batch of 200 law graduates, 150 joined litigation, 60 joined corporate, and the rest opted for further studies. Okay. So In a batch of 200 law graduates, 110 joined litigation, 60 joined corporate, and rest opted for further studies. If 15 graduates from litigation decide to pursue further studies, what is the new number of graduates who opted for further studies? Can you tell me? So, total number of graduates who pursued further study. So, total, how many students were there? So, 200 were there. 200 total students, right? How many opt for, how many opted for further studies initially? So, how many opted for further studies? So, these many joined litigation, these many joined cooperation, rest. So, 200 minus litigation who joined, minus 60 those joined. And these many, so rest has joined, rest has opted for further studies. So, let me subtract. So, 200 में से 110, if you subtract, you will get 90. Then 90 minus 60, if you do, you will get 30. So 30 opted for further studies initially. And then you can see that 15 graduates from litigation also decide for further study. So total becomes 30 plus then 15 also added. So it becomes 45. So option A is correct. So initially 200 were there. Out of those 200, 110 goes for one thing, 60 goes for other thing, rest goes for further study. But so that is 30. And then 15 also goes for further study. So it becomes 35. 30 plus 40, 30 plus 15. Next problem. A law student is preparing for 3 exams. The first exam requires studying 15 hours, second requires 20 hours, and third requires 25 hours. Okay. If the student has already studied for 32 hours in total for all 3 exams, how many more hours does the student need to study? Okay. So again, let's read the question again. A law student is preparing for 3 exams. Okay. First exam requires 15 hours of study, second requires 20 hours of study, and third one requires 25 hours of study. So total, all 3 exams, so all 3 exams required how much hour to study? 15, 20, and 20 hours. For study, right? So how much it would be? 15 plus 20 is 35. That you can calculate. 35 plus 25 is 60. So 60 hours required for a student to prepare for all 3 exams. Student is done with, student has already studied, for how many hours? 32 hours. So how many more hours student has to study? So how many more means what you have to done? What you have to do is 60 was required. 32 student has already done with. You just have to subtract. If you subtract, you will get 28. So 28 are left, are more student has to study if we want to prepare for all 3 exams. Next problem. A court processed 125 cases in January, 140 in February, 110 in March. Okay, these many cases. If 38 cases were appealed during these 3 months, what is the number of cases that were processed and not appealed. So see, how many processed? Total processed cases in 3 months are 125 in January, 140 in February, 110 in March. So total will be, so you have to add them up. 125 and 140 becomes 5, 6 and 2, this plus 1, 10. And this becomes 573. So total cases processed in 3 months are 375. How many appealed? 38. So how many are left? So what is the number? So number of cases processed but not appealed is 375 minus 38, right? Because only 38 has processed. So you have to subtract 5 minus 8. It is not possible. You have to take a remainder. So take a remainder over here. So it becomes 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. It becomes 6 because 1 you have taken on this side. 6 minus 3 is 3 and 3 is as it is. So it is 337. These many cases has not appealed but processed. Is that okay? Next problem. The total capacity of a law college library is these many books. In a library, 10,000 books can be occupied. So there are currently 8,575 books. If the library acquires these many new books, how many more books can still be added to reach the full capacity? See, in the library, total capacity was 10,000. Already 8,575 books were there. In that, these many more has added. So what is the capacity left? How many books, how many more books can be added? So this is the total capacity. These many books are already there. Add them up and subtract from here. So total capacity is 10,000, right? Books in the library is 8,575 plus 1,250, right? These many books are already there. Let me add them up. This 8,575 plus 1,250. So if you add, you will get 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 is remainder. 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So 9,825 books are already there in the library. So how many more can be there? So books can be added is 10,000 minus 9,825. So these many books can again be added because the capacity, according to the capacity, 10,000 books can be there. So 10 minus 5, not possible. Take remainder to this side. It becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. It becomes, so here there was nothing. So pehle idhar se idhar, from here to here, and then from here to here. 1, 1, 1, 1. So this 1 goes to this likewise. So it becomes 9. So this 1 becomes 10. So this 0 becomes 10. You have taken 1 to this side. This becomes 9. This becomes 10. So remainder game. So here you are left with 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. And here you were left with 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. So it is 175 books. So 175. So 175 books can still be added in the library. Okay. Next problem. A lawyer earned this much in a month. Okay. He spent this much on office rent, this much on staff salary, and this much on other expenses. How much money did he save in that month? So total earning is this. Total expenditure is this plus this plus this. So how much he will save? This minus expenditure. So how do we compute saving money? So total income minus all the expenditure. So total income is equal to 15000. This is the total income. Total expenditure is 45,000 for office rent, right? 25,000 staff salary plus 15,000 other expenses. This is his total expense. Let me add them up. So 45 plus this 0, 0, 0, 0, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 7. So 70,000 plus 15,000. So it is again 0, 0, 0, 5. 7 plus 1 is 8. So this is his total expenditure. So saving, how much savings you have to do? He must be doing how much money did he save in that month? So savings. Savings will equal to 150,000 minus 85 because this is his expenditure. So let me subtract. So 150,000 is 0, 0, 0, 5 and 8. So 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0. From here to here, you have to take 1. It becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, is 4. So 14 minus 8 is 6. So it is 65,000. So lawyer is saving 65,000 in that particular month. Is the problem clear? So saving money means total income minus expenditure. Next problem. In a law school, there are 180 male students and 210 female students in the first year. In the second year, there are 165 male student and 250 female student. So male in first year, female in first year, male in second year, female in second year. What is the total number of students in the first 2 years? It is pretty simple. So, total students are male plus female, both 180 male, 210 female in first year, then 165 male and 225 female in second year. You just have to add them up. So 180 plus 210. 0 plus 0, 0, 8 plus 1, 9, 2 plus 1 is 3. So 390 was in first year. Then let me add 165 and 225. These many students were in second year. 5 plus 5 is 10. One remainder. 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3. 390 again. 390 was in second year. Now total student you have to add them up. 390 plus 390. So 0 plus 0. So we are adding. No subtraction. 9 plus 9 is 8. 3 plus 3 is 6 and plus 1 is 7. So 780 student. So third option is correct. Is that okay? So in first year, these many female, male, and in second year, these many male and female. So we have that just so total students is you just have to add them up. Next problem, a judge presided over 55 cases in first quarter, 62 cases in second quarter. If judge aims to preside over 250 cases in a year, how many more cases need to be presided over the remaining two quarters? See, judge wanted to preside 250 cases in full year. He is done with 55 cases and 62 cases. How many remaining are there? So total he wanted to do is 250. How many he is done with? 55 and plus 62. These many cases he is already done with. So let me do the operation. So first bracket wala operation you have to do first. Oh, sorry. Add them up. 5 plus 2 is 7. 6 plus 5 is 117. So 250 minus 117. So these are the cases he still has to do. So 250 minus 117. So 0 minus 7 is not possible. You will take one remainder this side. It becomes 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. It becomes 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Here it is 2. So 133. 133. So these many cases judge still has to do if he wants to achieve his aim of presiding 250 cases. Okay. Next problem. A legal aid center received 85 requests for assistance in first week, 92 requests in second week. If they were able to process 120 requests in total over 2 weeks, how many requests are pending? So total how many received? So total received is 85 in sorry 85 in first week, right? Plus 92 in second week. Add them up. 85 and 92. 5 plus 2 is 7. 8 plus 9 is 77. So total requests received in 2 weeks is 177. How many processed? Processed is 120. How many left? 177 was total. How many they have processed is 120. So subtract, these many are left. So 177 minus 120. 7 minus 0 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5 and 0. So 57. So these many requests over 2 weeks. How many requests are pending? These many. Okay. Next problem. A company's legal department had a budget of 5 lakh for a project. They spend this much on legal research, this much on consultation fees, and this much on documentation. How much of the budget is left? Left means you have to subtract. So, total spent. So, how much they have already spent? So, they have spent 1,55,000, right? This much plus this much 220,000 plus this much, right? They have total spent this much money. So let me add them up. 1,510,000, then 220,000. So if you add 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 5 plus 2 is 7, 2 plus 1 is 3. This total spent is 371234 plus 8 this much. So how much they have already spent? 371000 000. Add them up. So 0 plus 0 0 plus 0 plus 0. 7 plus 8 is 15. One remainder 4. So 4, 5, 1, 2, right? This much they have already spent. How much budget is left? So total budget minus expenditure. So total budget was 5 lakhs. They have spent 4 lakh 50,000. So if you subtract, you will have 50,000. So they are left with the budget of 50,000. So option number 1 is correct. So see, legal department has total budget of this much. They have spent this plus this plus this. How much is left? So subtract all the expenditure from the total budget. That's all. Next problem. A law professor has collection of 350 law journals. He donates 75 journals to a college library and acquire 45 new journals. How many law journals does the professor have now? So total he had 350. Out of 350, he donated 75 in a college and acquire 45 new. So how much he has? So this minus this plus this. So total journal professor has is 350 he had already. He donated 75 and then he acquired 45, right? This is the scenario. 350 minus 75 plus 45. You just calculate it, you will get the answer. Next problem. In a batch of 300 students, 180 passed the first semester exam, 170 passed second semester exam, and 150 passed both. How many students pass at least one of the semester? So 180 passed first semester, 170 second semester, right? And 150 both, right? So how many students passed at least one of the semester? So this scenario is first semester student, second semester student. First semester at 180, second semester 170, and both has passed 150. So students pass at least one. One means 180 plus 170 minus 150. This we have to subtract because at least one semester, we have to count the student who has passed only at least one semester. So 180, so you can see that 150 we are counted twice in one semester also and second semester also. So it becomes 210 if you do this calculation. This is the correct answer. And here are some practice problems which you can go through. Again, these problems are based on whatever we have done in this video, addition and subtraction only. And all problems I have framed based on the law terminology. So I hope this topic is clear to you. It is a very basic but fundamental topic. If you face any problem, go through the video again, read the question carefully again, you will get it. So they are plain, simple logics you just have to use to solve these problems. So yeah, that's all for today's video. See you. Bye-bye.